the final thing I want to cover with the basic design principles is texture and patterns. What are textures and patterns? Well, when you have your book cover, you're going to have a colored background. You're probably going to have a main image, your author name, and your title and subtitle. So let's say this is your title, subtitle, main image, and author. Your background is most likely going to be one of two things. Either it's going to be a color that you pick, that's going to be a gradient or just one color, or it's going to be an actual image or illustration. So if you're making a football book, your background can either be red or it can be a football stadium. I don't know what else you could possibly have in your background other than either a color or an image or illustration. Now, if you have a color and you just leave the color as it is, some books can pull it off and just have a normal solid color in the background. But if you want to add a little bit more to your cover, make it look slightly better, then you can add a texture or a pattern. What do I mean by this? Well, let's say we have a trivia book for kids. It's going to have 1,001 questions that you can ask for kids, ages 9 to 10. You can have your title, let's say your title is question. Your subtitle is blah, 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 1,001 questions, blah, blah, blah. And then your main image is a book opening and some question marks flying out of the book or something like that. I don't know. And your author name here. You have two options. Your background can be, let's say, yellow. So we're going to have a yellow background. But now that we know that we can add textures or patterns, we can go online and find a pattern which is full of question marks like this. You might find a pattern with random question marks. What you can do is take this pattern and place it in your background. And if you lower the opacity, or if you understand how to use Photoshop and blending modes, then you can blend this texture or pattern in your background. And it's going to give your book that extra sense of depth, that extra sense of something else in the background. The background is not going to look bland and boring. So I recently had a Christmas book that I was making. It was a short stories book for kids, which is a bunch of Christmas stories. And I had Santa right here, and I had a green background. The text was here, but the background seemed kind of boring. So what did I do? I added little snowflakes in the background, super, super small. And I lowered the opacity so you can barely tell. But if you go in and you take the snowflakes away, then the cover just looks so boring. But as soon as I add the snowflakes back in, the cover looks more lively because there's things in the background. Look at me right now. If you close your eyes and you try to imagine what was in the background, you're not going to guess everything because there's so many different things. It's the whiteboard and me, but then I have the glass in the background. Then I have the table in the background, and I have the chairs, and there's the floor, and there's a little window things, little balcony. Then there's the cars, and the sea, and the sky, and the clouds, and the trees, and the people, and the sidewalk, and the beach, and the planes. There's so many different things that you don't actually process, but you can still see it. So if you want to create better backgrounds for your book covers, use textures and patterns. It's going to help you out so much. Now with textures, you can actually put textures on your main images. So if your main image is a stop sign or something, and the stop sign seems super, super boring, you can go online and find a texture for signs, or you can find scratches or something that makes a sign look worn out. And you can take that texture and place it on your main image, which might be a stop sign or something. So once you place your texture on your main image, which is a stop sign, the stop sign automatically looks more realistic. So I would strongly recommend looking into textures and patterns to see if you can add any to your book cover and see if you can make your book cover even better, especially the patterns in the background. That's one of the things that helped me out so much with making my book covers a lot better. So this is it for the basic module, but now we're going to get into way more advanced book cover secrets.